Hey Brigitte, hi, how's it going?
Hey Rohan, pretty good, thanks. You?
Cool, I'm very good. So let's get started. Why don't you
Sure.
introduce yourself and what is it that you do?
Okay, my name is Brigitte. I am the CEO of a consulting company, boutique consulting firm. We've been just over 2 years operating. We're based in Switzerland and we're focusing on accelerating growth for our clients.
Okay, cool. What are your exact target audiences here?
So we're working mainly with two groups of clients. On the one hand, we are working with tech companies, typically
Mhm.
the founders of tech companies who have created their own technology, developed their own app, developed their own platform, and they've got this amazing product and now they're in a position where they need to create an amazing business around that. So to commercialize their product and get it out into the market.
Mm.
And on the other hand, we're working with professional service companies who have a similar kind of challenge where usually they have got an amazing formula, an amazing solution because of the expertise of the founders. But again, it's how to commercialize that, how to get that out into the market, attract the right clients, scale that service, and to grow an awesome business around it.
Cool. So help us understand what was the problem that you were facing before you started working with us?
Well, our problem was that we, in a similar way to some of the clients that I described, we had had a great product and we had been working mostly through the strength of our own particular network. So myself and my colleagues in the business, we had grown a business. We had, a lot of people knew us in the network thanks to our reputation. So we fell in from one, project to another, and we had people knocking on our door all the time, which is great.
Mm.
Except, and it makes you feel really good. Except then you realize that the day that the door stops, people stop knocking on the door, you've got a bit of a problem. So what we needed to do ourselves was to switch that around and to build a much more robust engine to be able to attract leads in the market that were not part of our network or our network's network. And that was one of the big switches for us to be able to grow further.
Mhm. So the predictability aspect is what you wanted in your business.
Absolutely. The predictability aspect was for us because we were working, as I said, from opportunity to opportunity, and we had
Mm.
several opportunities.
Mm.
But several things happened in our business at a similar time, COVID being one of the big ones. And that disrupted many things that happened in our life, but it also disrupted things that happened in the lives of our clients.
Mm.
So when there was suddenly this disruption and this interruption, we had to look to other sources to continue generating or filling the business pipeline. And that's where we realized that we had a little bit of a problem because suddenly there wasn't as many choices for us to continue working. And so we needed to have a better way to attract others in the market and to have our message, resonate with our target client.
Got you.
So that's one of the reasons why we started speaking together, because I had noticed some of the posts you were making and some of the content that you were putting out on LinkedIn, which spoke very much to exactly the problem that we were facing
Mm.
about how to generate leads in a B2B situation. The examples and the stories you told really spoke exactly to our particular pains. And
Mm.
that's why I wanted to get on a call with you and see what you could offer us.
Cool. Um, and what was your experience, or how was your experience working with me and my team?
Well, I think from the start, I was quite impressed because yours was not the first solution that I looked at.
Mm.
And I'd also been pretty skeptical because in the 2 years that we've been in business, this would have been, I think, my fifth or so different approach to marketing, including one time where I just tried to do something myself. So
Mhm.
we'd worked with 3 or 4 other agencies before, all with different approach, all with different recipe, different formula, different magical tricks to
Mm.
make things work. And I was very frustrated each time because even though things sounded really good and, you know, without any disrespect to any of the other companies, I just don't think that their solutions were the right fit for us. So we tried different things and I was frustrated each time because it felt like I was putting a lot of effort and a lot of money into things that didn't really bring a return on investment.
Mm.
So after having decided to try stuff myself, and okay, we had some progress, but it still didn't feel like we needed expertise. We needed someone who could show us how to do it better, who could
Mm.
unlock some secrets that we didn't know how to do. And the very first call that we had, I really felt that you understood what we needed. You understood the environment very well. I explained a little bit about the business, and then you just got it from there. So because you were able to understand my problem very well, you were also able to speak really convincingly about a solution that you had to offer. So I was intrigued to go ahead with you from the start. And since then, soon after our first engagement, then I started speaking to other of your team members, and I had that continued experience with each of your team members that I started working with. So I also appreciated very much the consistency in your approach. It wasn't, because often it happens that the founder is the creative genius of the company.
Yeah.
And it's all well and good when you're speaking to them, but then when you need to deal with other team members, then suddenly things are not so snazzy anymore. And I'm very pleased to say that wasn't the experience at all with your business. All of your team members have been awesome, and we've had that consistent experience all the way through.
Cool. What are some of the results that you are experiencing or generating as a result of working with us directly?
Well, definitely the situation of wondering, about where the leads are coming from has disappeared, because we have a very full pipeline of leads. And in fact, one of the challenges we have now is making our process of managing the leads and engaging with all of our leads and then converting the leads. We need to be doing that more efficiently, because we are now in a situation where one of our challenges is having maybe too high a volume of leads, and converting that in a very effective way. So that's really how our situation has changed, which you could say on the one hand is a good problem to have. And what I'm figuring out right now is also just refining even further the leads so that we have maybe even less volume and better quality during that. So, it's a progression. We've been working together about 4 months or something. I mean, the situation has changed quite considerably from having a very small bucket of leads to having like a huge pool of leads, to now saying, okay, the further we go, the more and more precise it's becoming in exactly who a good quality lead is. And then we tweak and we refine, and we tweak and we refine. Yeah. So that's been the major impact.
Yeah. So now you have the choice of selecting who's your ideal prospect and taking the conversation. And if you feel that, okay, this is not someone that I think is the right fit, you don't have to even entertain that conversation. So that's a privileged situation that you are in.
It's a privileged situation. A few months ago, and I suppose also in the context of COVID, where everyone was wondering, what will happen, business-wise, we used to be quite nervous getting on a phone with a prospective client and thinking, oh my goodness, I have to close. Oh my goodness, I hope they say yes. To now where it's being very measured and careful, and to say, well, am I a good fit for you, and are you a good fit for me?
Right. Yeah. So the balance has switched in your favor, so to say, because you are now
the balance has shifted. Definitely the balance has shifted, but also it's the lesson that not every client is a good client.
Yeah,
exactly. And there is such a thing as having not great opportunities, ones where you end up burning your resources and being frustrated because simply they're just not your ideal client.
Right.
And it's not a great fit. So also, because I've got a full pipeline, I can be assured enough, like I'm not panicking, I can be assured enough to say, all right, if this one is not a good one, there'll be another one.
Right. Exactly. Cool. Help me understand, what were a couple of aha moments that you had after you started working with us?
Let's see. I think one of my biggest aha moments was the need to have a packaged product that people are able to buy. And probably the one even before that was being able to speak very, very specifically to a very specific target client and their very specific need. So I think if I have to summarize my 2 aha moments, the first one was not trying to do everything for everyone.
Yeah.
And the second one, which is kind of a bit related to it, is to have a packaged product. Yeah. So I think I had, or we were suffering from what I think many consultants sort of have experience this, which is that if you come from a background, especially like I came from a corporate background, and I had a very strong reputation in the corporate world that kind of like went along with my name. So it was like people knew that if I was going to get involved, things would get done.
Right.
And I was expecting that to carry into my business world, where I don't need to have a product, just work with me and I'll fix whatever you need, you know. And I was expecting that to kind of to work, and it did to some extent quite well within our own professional network, because that kind of reputation kind of carried along with. But when you want to expand your market, nobody cares who you are. They care what you can do for them. And if you can't get that message across, and not only get that message across, but then say, this is exactly the solution that I have in a packaged product that can solve your problem, then it makes it very difficult. In fact, no, let me change it. It makes it impossible for people to make a buying decision. Cool. Because if people don't know what they're buying, and if they don't know what it looks like, and they don't know what it's going to do for them, they're not going to buy it. No matter who you are, no matter who you think you are, and, you know, unless you've got a brand that precedes you. But most of us are not at that stage where our brand, you know, we're not a Richard Branson or a Tony Robbins or somebody of that nature. So we have to have a product that sells.
Correct. Would you like to talk a bit about what content has done for you specifically in your business?
Content. Well, this has been an interesting road. So content, my relationship with LinkedIn has changed like almost 360 degrees since we started working together. So I'm posting 5, if not 6 days a week. What has happened is that, and again, in the beginning, it felt a bit awkward. It felt like forced, because I really had to try and think about it. Whereas now the content just flows, because I've gotten into the habit of sharing thoughts, gotten into the habit of, again, putting that. And in the beginning, I used to think, but what is it that I really have to say? I mean, there's so much content out there. What am I going to add to it that's going to rock anybody's world?
Right.
And the more that I've found my voice and found my own style and made a habit of it, it's just so much easier to be able to have that content out there. So we've got a very consistent approach of how we put content out there. So I think that my followers, my audience, have gotten used to it. Like Thursdays, like we do Monday to Friday is, you know, the let's say the set formula that we've decided to go with.
Right.
Whereas Wednesday is one type of video, Thursday is another kind of video. And more I speak to people in the network, more they tell me things about some of my content that I'd even forgotten about. So in a conversation, we might be talking about something and someone will say, yes, it's exactly like you said that time in this video. And I go, wow, you know, and it could have been a video from weeks or months ago. Right. So I think that the combination of both text and video is very powerful. I think that the consistency in the video format as well is really powerful, because it's created a very strong brand recognition.
Right.
So, you know, I've had now people who I'm working with saying, maybe you can do a video, you know, because a lot of people take notice of your video. So maybe you can use this topic in one of your videos, because that's kind of talking about what we do.
Right.
So it's starting to get that, you know, that recognition and that following. So much more, I mean, I've had wonderful experiences where I've gone to see a client, a prospective client, and sit down and start introducing myself. And I've had, you know, on numerous occasions, people say, but we feel like we already know you because we see your content on LinkedIn all the time. And that's why we wanted to speak to you, because you understand our problem.
Exactly.
Seems like you understand our problem. So
cool. Super cool. And lastly, what would you recommend to someone who's thinking about working with us, me and my team specifically?
Stop thinking and do it. It's as simple as that.
Cool.
No, but I say that in all seriousness, because if you want to set something like this up, if you want to go through the same sort of changes that I've described in my business, it takes time. It doesn't happen in 2 weeks.
Sure.
It takes time, and it takes time for you as a business owner to change your own mindset, to sort of like get over yourself and start, you know, creating the content and to build up the habit and to train your followers and to amass that. And it takes time to start getting results. So the longer you sit and think about it, the longer it's going to take for your business to have that impact.
Right.
And my question is, how long are you going to sit and think about it versus making the change that your business needs? If you're having similar challenges where you need to secure the growth in your business and do that in a very predictable and stable way, and something that you can trust, something that you can rely on, that you know is going to happen. It's not a hit and miss here and there. It's not a hope and a pray that, you know, you're going to get in your business.
Right.
Then stop thinking about it and make a choice. Now, make a choice to do something. Then if it's a question of, do they decide to work with you or someone else? that comes down to an individual style. But all I know is I went through almost 2 years of a lot of pain and heartache. I won't even tell you how much money nor time that I lost. And I actually, some of the stuff I think also did a little bit of, I won't say maybe damage is too strong a word, but I think it created the wrong image for my brand as well. So I also had to like reposition things too. So again, you can do trial and error, you can work with other people, but the results that you guys have had, and I've spoken to others of your clients as well, I think it's a consistent feeling that you're able to deliver what you say deliver. And the thing I like about it is that you just go quietly about your business. It's not like shouting from the rooftops. You just get it done. Yeah. So that's what I'd say. Just stop thinking and make a choice.
Cool. Thank you so much, Brigitte. I appreciate you. Thank you for your time so much.
It's a pleasure, Rohan.
Ciao.
Ciao.